Welcome back! My name is ballerscuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1986. Today, we're going to talk about The Legend of Zelda. The story of The Legend of Zelda takes us back to Nintendo. We of course have talked about Nintendo many times before. Responsible for Donkey Kong, Mario, and the Famicom, we last talked about Nintendo in our video on the Nintendo Entertainment System. For The Legend of Zelda, Nintendo turned to Shigeru Miyamoto. We have talked about Shigeru Miyamoto numerous times before. At the time, he was most famous for his work with Donkey Kong and Mario. Miyamoto began working on the game in 1984, the same time he was working on Super Mario Bros. It is said that Miyamoto would separate his ideas at the time to Mario ideas and Zelda ideas. For instance, while Mario was designed to be linear, Zelda was designed to be open. While Mario had a high score, although it is downplayed in the game, Zelda was focused purely on completing the story. Miyamoto wanted Zelda to take place in a game world. He said he wanted to give players a miniature garden that they could put inside their drawer. He was inspired from his childhood experiences around Kyoto, where he would explore the local fields, woods, and caves. He wanted to give the player a sense of exploration, adventure, and discovery. He was also inspired by a childhood memory of getting lost in a maze of sliding doors in his family home. To help flesh out the story and script, Miyamoto turned to Takashi Tezuka. We have talked about Takashi Tezuka before. He had helped Miyamoto with Devil World and Super Mario Bros. Tezuka was inspired by fantasy books, including J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. The two men would work together to name the characters, including Zelda, who is named after Zelda Fitzgerald, F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife, and Link, designed to be a blank slate and a representation of the connection between the players and the world. To help program the game, Miyamoto turned to Toshihiko Nakago, who worked at Nintendo's partner, SRD. Nakago was joined by Yasunari Sawajima and Ai Marui. Koji Kondo was brought on to compose the music for the game. We have talked about Koji Kondo before. He composed the music for, among others, Punch-Out and Super Mario Bros. The Legend of Zelda is an adventure game, although it incorporates action and role-playing elements as well. The player plays as Link, an elf-like boy. Link must explore the world, acquiring various power-up items that are hidden not only on the overworld, but also in dungeons and caves. The player will also find rupees, the currency in the game, which will allow for further upgrades. Throughout the world, there are 8 dungeons that can be found. The dungeons have a maze-like layout of rooms. Some of the rooms will act as puzzles for the player to solve before they can progress. Dungeons will also contain items for the player to collect that the player will need to complete the dungeon and the game. These dungeons also contain pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom. The player's ultimate goal is to collect all 8 pieces of the Triforce to open up the 9th dungeon. In the 9th dungeon, the player must defeat Ganon to rescue the Princess Zelda. The Legend of Zelda was designed to be a launch title for Nintendo's newest add-on to the Famicom, the Family Computer Disk System. The Family Computer Disk System, most commonly known as the Famicom Disk System, is a peripheral for the Famicom. It would play games that came on proprietary floppy disks known as disk cards. The disk system was designed in response to requests from retailers for cheaper games. The disk system allowed for several upgrades to the Famicom's games. The games for the disk system would not only be cheaper, but could also be larger thanks to an increased storage capacity on the discs compared to cartridges, could use additional sound channels, and would give the player the ability to save their progress, something that could not happen with a normal Famicom. Nintendo released the Family Computer Disk System in Japan on February 21st, 1986. When it was released, there were 7 games that could be purchased for it. Those included ports of baseball, golf, mahjong, soccer, Super Mario Bros., and tennis. The Legend of Zelda was the only original game released for the Disk System when it was released. That is a brief backstory to The Legend of Zelda and the Famicom Disk System. With those now told, it's time to take a closer look at the manual that came with the game. The backstory in the manual was written by Keiji Terui, a screenwriter who wrote for anime such as Dragon Ball. The manual reads, "A long, long time ago, the world was in an age of chaos. In the midst of this chaos, in a little kingdom in the land of Hyrule, a legend was being handed down from generation to generation. The legend of the Triforce. Golden triangles possessing mystical powers. One day, an evil army attacked this peaceful little kingdom and stole the Triforce of Power. This army was led by Ganon, the powerful prince of darkness who sought to plunge the world into fear and darkness under his rule. Fearing his wicked rule, Zelda, the princess of this kingdom, split up the Triforce of Wisdom into 8 fragments and hid them throughout the realm to save the last remaining Triforce from the clutches of the evil Ganon. At the same time, she commanded her most trustworthy nursemaid, Impa, to secretly escape into the land and go find a man with enough courage to destroy the evil Ganon. Upon hearing this, Ganon grew angry, imprisoned the princess, and sent out a party in search of Impa. Braving forests and mountains, Impa fled for her life from her pursuers. As she reached the very limit of her energy, she found herself surrounded by Ganon's evil henchmen. Cornered, what could she do? But wait, all was not lost. A young lad appeared. He skillfully drove off Ganon's henchmen and saved Impa from a fate worse than death. His name was Link. During his travels, he had come across Impa and Ganon's henchmen. Impa told Link the whole story of the Princess Zelda and the evil Ganon. Burning with a sense of justice, Link resolved to save Zelda, but Ganon was a powerful opponent. He held the Triforce of Power, and so, in order to fight off Ganon, Link had to bring the scattered 8 fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom together to rebuild the mystical triangle. If he couldn't do this, there would be no chance Link could fight his way into Death Mountain, where Ganon lived. Can Link really destroy Ganon and save Princess Zelda? Only your skill can answer that question. Good luck. Use the Triforce wisely. Hints on how to destroy Ganon. Those of you who have had trouble playing this game, read the story below. Read carefully, it has lots of useful hints. When Impa gave Link the order to destroy Ganon, she also told him of the history of the land of Hyrule and the layout of the 9 underground secret labyrinths. These layouts should be somewhere in this booklet. Did you find them? Relying on what Impa had told him, Link has to somehow make his way to Death Mountain. Link just might be able to find out where the mountain is by carefully studying where and when the monsters appear. In the forests and mountains, there are several caves, and in those caves, there live merchants who will sell Link useful items. As well as buying things here, Link can get his hands on other things that he can't get elsewhere. Lots of amazing things happen in the springs Link finds here and there. The fairies will give Link a whole new supply of life hearts. These aren't the only secrets to be found. The entrances to the underground labyrinths are hidden all over the place. There are also some entrances that are really hard to find. Nevertheless, somewhere you'll be able to find hints in how to solve these riddles. And once Link's found a labyrinth, he'll always get an item of treasure. Carry weapons such as boomerangs, etc. to match the enemy. This way Link can proceed with the fight more effectively. The skill to switch over quickly to the treasure select screen, remember the sub-screen, and swiftly take out the treasures is really important. If you've got this skill, Link will be able to win through to the end. The labyrinth level display is important. It shows Link the way. If Link does not fight in the right level order, he might meet a miserable end at the end of the labyrinth. Don't rush forward too fast, it's dangerous. Lots of riddles are hidden in the underground labyrinths. Once Link's found the map and the compass, he can go forward checking each of the passageways one by one. Walk around and find all the rooms. For this, Link will have to increase his possessions a lot. In the underground labyrinths, Link will come across some doors that will close behind him once he's passed through them. Yet there's always a way of opening them and escaping. Even if Link's closed in on all sides, he's not allowed to give up. Try anything to get out. Link's going to have a difficult time trying to destroy Ganon. He's real mean. But even Ganon has his weak point. Some friendly character in the game is sure to tell Link about it. Link has destroyed Ganon and has managed to rescue Princess Zelda. Now that he's got a hold of the two Triforces, he once again goes off on his travels, making his way towards countries unknown. Who knows what the future holds for Link? The manual then has technical information about how to play the game, some basic information about the items Link can find and use throughout the game, some information about the Triforce and which levels each piece can be found in, then information about the overworld. Then it talks about the enemies in the overworld. That reads, the nasty characters Link bumps into in the overworld. Tektite. These spidery things jump about all over the place. Red ones move about a lot and blue ones move only a little. Tektites have little fighting power. Octorok. A type of octopus that lives above ground. There are two types, red and blue. Watch out for the blue ones, they're mean. They spit out rocks at Link. Lever. They live in the ground and eat up the energy of creatures that approach them. Blue levers are a little stronger, but the red ones don't have much attacking power. Peahat has little attacking power. This is the ghost of a flower that bounces and flutters around the place. Link can eliminate it only when it's standing still. Moblin. A bulldog-like goblin who lives in the forest. He attacks by throwing spears, a little bit meaner than Octorok. Armos, a soldier who has been turned into a stone statue. He moves and attacks if touched by Link. He has a fair amount of attacking power. Guinea, the ghost who lives in the graveyard. There are two types. There are guineas who are there from the beginning of the game, and those who appear when Link touches the gravestones. Guineas have about the same attacking force as Armos. Lionel, the guardian who attacks all those who come near Death Mountain. Watch out, he's pretty strong, and Link's little shield can't stop his sword. Zola, half fish, half woman who lives in the water. When she sticks her head out of the water, she lets out a ball that Link's little shield can't hold back. Rock, these rocks crumble off Death Mountain and fall down to attack Link. He can't destroy these natural nuisances. After some information about the underworld, there are descriptions of the enemies Link can find in the underworld. That reads, the enemies that attack Link in the underground labyrinths. Zol and Gel. Jelly-like monsters that walk about bouncing around in the labyrinths. When Link cuts Zol, it splits into two gels. Gel has little attacking power, but Zol has twice the power of Gel. Rope, a poisonous snake that has made the labyrinths its home. It senses other creatures quickly and suddenly comes after them, and Link for that matter, once it has found them out. This one hasn't got a lot of attacking power. Vyre and Keese. Vyre is a devil that controls the Keeses. When Link cuts it with his sword, it turns into two Keeses. Keeses have little attacking power, but Vyre is a little stronger. Stalfos, a skeleton that's got a sword in each hand. Little attacking power. Wallmaster, a monster hand that appears out of the labyrinth wall. If it catches Link, it takes him back to the entrance to the labyrinth. Gorilla, a little devil that lives underground. He uses boomerangs. There are 2 of his type, blue ones and red ones. Watch out for the blue ones, they are strong. Wizrobe, the master of movement. He appears here and there letting out magic spells that Link's little shield can't hold back. He's pretty strong, watch out. Darknut, the knight who lives in the labyrinths. He has lots of attacking power. He repels Link's attacks from the front with his shield. Pole's Voice, a ghost with big ears and a weak point. He hates loud noise. Lanmola, a gigantic centipede. Attacking his head won't work. Boy, does he move fast. Like, a tube-like monster that has a soft spot for magic shields. He eats them up. Gibdo, the mummy man. He's got some strange powers and some pretty powerful attacking force. Moldorm, the huge worm living in the labyrinths. It grows smaller as Link attacks. Not so strong. Dodongo, a giant rhinoceros. It hasn't got so much attacking power, but it bounces off attacks with its thick hide. Manhandla, a large man-eating flower with hands sticking out in all 4 directions. It moves faster as it loses its hands. It's pretty mean, so watch out. Aquamentus, a type of dragon that some call a unicorn. As well as having lots of attacking power, it's a fearful opponent. It emits mean beams. Patra, the Patra attack in groups in 2 types of formations. Both formation groups are strong, so be on your toes. Digdogger, big sea urchins. In spite of their big bodies, they shrivel up when attacked. But watch out, they come on pretty strong. Goma, the super huge crab that lives in the labyrinths. Its hard shell will repulse any attack. Attack its weak point with a special weapon. Gleeok, a huge dragon that has 2 to 4 heads and spits out beams at Link. Heads that Link cuts off from its body fly around in the air. Bubble, the spirit of the dead. When it clings on to Link, he won't be able to unsheath his sword for a while. Traps and stone statues. Somebody placed these in the labyrinth a long time ago. They suddenly attack Link when he approaches them, so you've really got to watch out. The game then teases Ganon a bit to finish the section. Then the game gives instructions on how to get to the first dungeon of the game. The game also comes with a basic map with some information on it, although it is far from complete. That is a fairly deep look at the manual that comes with the game. With that explored, it's time to play the game for ourselves. However, that will have to wait until our next video. My name is ballerscuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video when we play The Legend of Zelda.